Foremost, we are in the new streaming setup. This is the new house. Z has gone to tremendous labors to make this room extremely beautiful, make the lighting extremely good. You will see more of the other angles as I do more like talking head videos, but as you can already see, it looks fucking fantastic. Apparently, according to Twitch, I've watched more than 200 hours of your loser ass streams. Keep up the good work. I'll do my best, dog. The sticky notes will be transported, yes. I believe we will be using them to layer that section of clear wall. Update 2. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not feeling good. And Z and I have happened upon a startling little coinky dink. A startling little coinky dink about why I'm not feeling good. Hold on. YouTube says Mauled Hound with the jacket is only a beanie away from looking like a rip-off Tim Pool. Dude, I should do it. I'm much more interesting than that man. I should rip Tim Pool off because my mouth can fit the entirety of his bald-ass frame. That would be nothing but good for me. Except I wouldn't I wouldn't take a bunch of Russian shill money like he did. Right. So we're gonna get into the Total Drama Tuesday. But you guys, this is like day 6 of genuinely terrible illness. Like since mid last week, I have had like no control over my own body temperature. I have been alternating between being freezing cold or breaking into sweats. My entire body has felt like it had a sunburn on it. I've had terrible like coughing and congestion. I've had horrible headaches. I have been like barely coherent at times. Like today is the most coherent I've been. I've been unable to sleep for more than like an hour at a time. It's been horrible. It has been the most like unk status cold I've had ever. Also, Z's in chat, so say hello to my girlfriend. And today, we realized that because I was so unwell, I had inadvertently gone cold turkey on caffeine for the entire time that I've been sick. And so today, we got me a little cup of coffee, and I took and I went, oh, I feel bad, but now I feel normal bad. Oh, now I feel bad. Now I feel like a sick boy, but I recognize being that sick boy instead of feeling like a tuberculosis-ridden British child in the 1800s. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Aegis Athene, thank you for the 100-bit cheer, and Soul Storming, thank you for the Prime sub for the 8th month in a row. Yeah, so I accidentally put myself through caffeine withdrawals. And quite frankly, this was you catch the con crud? I think I had con crud, and then here's what happened, you guys. Here's what happened. I got the con crud. I accidentally got Z and I both super fucking high. And then I inadvertently went cold turkey on caffeine. Because what happened was we were getting the con crud and we had to fly back home because we stayed with some friends for a few days after the convention. We stayed with a couple friends and we were getting on the plane to go back home, and I was like, oh You know, the cold, I'm getting a little achy. I'm not feeling great. Let's get some CBD gummies. CBD's been good for me and my body pains in the past. We see a little vending machine that has CBD in it, and Z goes, "Oh, let's make sure these aren't psychoactive." And I go, "Babe. All right, just, hey, babe. All right, hey, let me tell you one thing. All right, end of the day, you're rolling with me, right? Listen, think about that. Here it is. You ready? All right. Wipe." Because back in my day job, I worked a lot with the e-commerce of CBD products. And so I knew that there were extremely, extremely strict rules in place about where and how you could sell psychoactive stuff. And so I was looking at, and they had like, you know how places that sell both CBD and weed always have like 18 fucking different names of everything. And I was looking at it, and I was sick, so I wasn't paying super close attention, but I felt relatively assured on the basis of I knew for a fact they cannot allow people to buy this shit with a credit card without somebody checking IDs. Like it would be a massive fucking problem if they were selling psychoactive stuff and they had no method of age verification and they were taking credit card sale. If this was a cash only place, I would have been immediately like ears up, because that was how these places typically flouted these rules. But they had a little credit card scanner and there was nobody checking IDs or anything. So I was like, okay, so these are all just like fucking made up CBD names, whatever. I took one, and as the framing of the story would go, it was extremely psychoactive. And so we spent the next 6 hours in hell. Our flight, our flight was 5.5 hours. Within 1 hour of taking that edible, I thought I was peeing. I spent the next 5 hours thinking I was peeing the entire time. I was looking at my feet because I felt liquid coming out of my shoes. Turns out regulations vary by state. No, the fuck they don't. Not on this one. I'm going to send a strongly worded letter. Yeah, you know what varies by state? Federal regulations. You know what doesn't vary by state? Master fucking card. That's why that's why I took a admittedly overzealous amount of faith in the fact that I was buying it with a credit card. I was not trusting state laws, because 100% there's a bunch of varying state laws about where you can sell this stuff. But credit card regulations, which is part of why weed companies hate fucking working with credit card companies, because there have been many, many situations in which a business or a dispensary is totally fine to sell in their state, and then, or you know, whatever their place of business is, and then Visa and MasterCard are like, actually go fuck yourself when they try to sell something like this. Anyway, Dirty Dan, thank you for the Prime sub for the 9th month in a row. Tolang, also thank you for the 4 months. Did it skip month 3 or am I dumb? I think it's showing me you've resubscribed for like the 3rd month in a row, but it's your 4th month total. I'm not really sure how that shows. Hey, baby. Oh, thank you, baby. Aegis Athene, thank you for gifting a sub to Garrett. Welcome back to Dog Heaven. I did not piss myself. That is also important to say. Now that I've spent 5 minutes talking about how I felt like I was pissing myself, it is necessary to state I did not pee myself on that airplane. I did not pee myself on that airplane, but I did think that I did. Casual Passerby, thank you for a 15 stream streak. I'm addicted to your content now, as are we all. Or it dried after you came down? No, because I needed to piss like every 20 minutes. Like that was another part of the hell, was I couldn't fall asleep. I was exhausted and I was having to navigate the phantom piss and all of the times I had to actually pee because we were having me drink a lot of water to try to help with the cold. I could not rest in piss, no. I was very awake in piss. I was troubled in piss. I was aggrieved in piss. Yeah, I was on a plane. Skeleton, we're talking about how I've been sick for a week and how at the beginning of that week I tried to take a CBD gummy that was actually extremely psychoactive. Um and I poisoned Z and I. So anyway, are you the type who can sleep on planes? Normally, yes. With how bad my neck problems have been, it's been getting harder to. And on that plane, fuck no. um, hey, our YouTube editor is here. If you enjoy the long forms, please give some claps to Triple Mango Threat. We're getting there, Mango. I hope this isn't too weird personal, but why did you get a vasectomy, Mr. Mald? I am actually of a similar opinion. Wow, this is going to be really embarrassing to say. I feel the same way John Cena does, despite being infinitely less cool than John Cena. I resonate a lot with when he talks about my life. I have been blessed with some amazing opportunities, and I get to do some very, very cool things. And I want to focus all of that energy on Z and those cool things. And I know that if I have a baby, I would not give a fuck about that baby. Or I guess a better way to frame it is I wouldn't be mean to the baby. I would not abuse that child. I actually think if I had a child, I would sacrifice a lot to give that child a good life. But I think that I understand at least part of what I would need to give up to be a good dad, and I don't want to do it. There's no part of me that cares to see little baby. There's no part of me that wants it. There's like I understand that like pass on the DNA argument or whatever, but it's just not. Yeah, it's not a strong it's not a strong pull for me, and I think that when I had the kid, I would either resent them or I would just be a not present parent. Like I think the because I think there are people who are like really excited about kids and really love raising children and teaching children and having experiences with children. Uh, and so I don't hate children. They'll get on my nerves if I'm around them too long because, like, quite frankly, most kids are stupid. But yeah, it's just like it's just this massive, massive reservoir of love and effort that I am totally unwilling to give. And I'm totally unwilling. Engelhertz, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home. And Whitebread, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Pass on the DNA argument doesn't apply to the hairline. Okay, it's called the cycle of abuse, and if I don't perpetuate it, who the fuck is going to? Okay? Be fucking real. Be fucking real. And a lot of what got me to that place was honestly my mom being amazing. Because my mom sacrificed an incredible amount to set me up in life. My mom put a huge amount of effort towards making sure I was loved, making sure I was socialized, making sure I was intelligent, and I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. Noob CC, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 2 months in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. Dang, this new backdrop kind of vibey. Thank Z. Yes, they put a tremendous amount of work into this, and it's super fucking good. While I have family members who got pregnant, their partners left the majority childcare to them, and I had to step up and help them when their partners refused, and I've seen how those children grew up, and it's not a pretty sight. Yeah, like that shit is evil. That is the sin of sloth. Not to get too biblical, as someone who is actively against the idea of organized religion and does not believe in God, but when people talk about like how sloth is a sin, I think that is a prime example of it. Because you have to care for children. They require guidance. They require nurturing. They require love. And if you are not in a position to provide all of that for them, don't do it. Don't do it. So that's why. Is I will spare you all 1 million jokes about busting Raw. But Z and I talked about that, and we were both in that place when it came to children, and we were like, okay, who does it always, listen, I don't know how much my audience is young. Based on demographics, most of you are my age, give or take 8 years. So you're in your like around 40, or you're in your mid-20s. But if any of you are younger, or if any of you are in a point where you're just beginning relations with the opposite sex, the birth control onus, always on the dude. It's infinitely, or it's always on you. But if there's ever a question, default to it being on the dude. It is so much fucking easier for us. All of the time, forever. The side effects of long-term birth control for women can be fucking disastrous. You know what the long-term side effects of a vasectomy are? Never having kids ever. That's it. That's the whole fucking list. You know the worst complication of a vasectomy? They redo it, and you have a bruise for 48 more hours on your pouch, and that's fucking it. Well, yeah, if you want kids, have kids. I mean, well, if you want kids, get ready for kids and then have kids. But I'm just not the guy to talk to about wanting to have kids. I thought the worst case would be losing the Johnson. No ends. I hope to God you're making a joke. That I don't believe that to be true. Unless your surgeon is getting real creative with the knife. No. I mean, Hades, I think the onus for birth control still remains on the man, even if you're not getting the snip done. Like if you're just having casual sexual relations, and like if you are a man seeking to go out on the town and have sex with a woman, and you do not bring condoms with you, let me know so that I can come to your home and punch you in the mouth. That's how I feel about that. We're going to be talking about the Monster Hunter Secret Lair, and we're going to be talking about any other magic news that is in there. I'm really just trying to grease the groove again and remind the world that I do exist and I'm not dead, even though it seems like it. Sorry, Nightwing, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Massive PSA, the pull-out method does not work. Yes, again, buy condoms or I will punch you in the mouth. Yo, boss, did you see my questions from yesterday? Probably, but I was probably fighting the fucking Hat Man. Yes, streams start at noon unless posted. Otherwise, I have no idea. I will ask Elk today. Hold on. I will ask Elk now. I have messaged them. Did you win against the Hat Man? No. Okay, Dragoon. See, that is a that is actually one of the things I wanted to check in on, because I had been hearing spurious rumors about the Monster Hunter Secret Lair getting canceled because of Capcom backlash rather than actual player feedback. What is the source on that? Did they say that? So I see Capcom is on board for us to take another swing at this super drop. Is this just a thing that like somebody commented on Reddit and then other YouTubers were like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll say that as truth." No actual proof. Fucking amazing. Love it. Oh, the whole thing is like 5 sentences. Jesus. Okay, so the entirety of what they said was Capcom is on board for us to take another swing. We don't think we did good enough. We see you're all very upset. Drivetrain, I am still coughing and shit. I'm actually doing a lot of coughing and not enough shitting. A non-healthy amount of not shitting. We do have to do the manual ad break on Twitch as well. Let me pull up YouTube chat. Capcom is on board. Feels like just Corpo speak for they want us to redo it. I mean, it could be, but it could also be Corpo speak for like a million fucking things. The source is that players complained about a lot, and Wizards didn't listen before, so what changed now? Easily what could have changed now is that it could have finally represented a difference in how much it was actually selling. I think we're talking about, if we're trying to apply Occam's razor, which it sounds like that's what you're trying to evoke with like, well, what could be different when players have complained a lot before? If this one, and I have not had a very strong opinion about this because I haven't bought into any of the super drops. It hadn't gone on sale yet. Okay. Were there no options for pre-sales? Is there any method they typically use for trying to figure out buyer interest? Can you like waitlist for Secret Lairs? Was that open? Because the thing is, the others have our store pre-orders a thing. There's an emailed waitlist. Maybe Capcom caught wind of people's displeasure and went to Hasbro with concerns. I mean, that's true, but again, I want to avoid. I'm considering making a video about this, and if stuff's gonna be like wild fucking speculation, I want to present it as wild fucking speculation rather than like this definitely happened. Is there a way to still see what was in it, or have they taken it all down? Okay. It was on Magic Spoiler. So they had this just incredible piece of dog shit. Hold on, let me go to scene 2. All right, so they had this incredible piece of dog shit. They put blind obedience in this thing. Holy fuck, dude. Mizium Mortars? Oh, they hate you guys. Tooth and Nail makes sense. Mizium Mortars is fucking crazy. 48 bucks a card for Blind Obedience, Snap, Village Rites, Mizium Mortars, and Tooth and Nail. Holy shit, this was put together by a drunk intern. Okay, Grand Abolisher, Archaeomancer, Grim Haruspex. Yeah, those seem a little bit more on the level. Okay, Imperial Recruiter, Champion of Lambholt. I don't know these outfits from Kane, but like these cards seem a little bit more on the level of like, okay, I would use this in a deck. And then these just don't look like. Everything but Zeatora is a jokester card, but here I feel like the issue is I I've not played a ton of Monster Hunter. I've played Monster Hunter. You could tell me this was from Godzilla and I would not question it. Yeah, man, I guess that's Rathalos. It could be his brother, Rathalos. I don't know him that well. I don't know him that well. Do you have opinions on the cards needing to meet exceed the card's value? I tend to see that a lot for it to be worth it. Certainly don't want 50-cent cards, but I'd be fine with playable reprints. So that's a really important question because I think it underscores what I think is like the real problem with this secret lair, which is that the if we're in a world where, let's say, consumer sentiment is the reason this got dropped. Okay? Let's divest ourselves of the idea that there was some Capcom's conspiracy. Maybe there was, but for right now, actual consumer sentiment was the reason they did this. I think the pushback on this underscores that the Magic community is really not willing to make totally bad cards collectible. Maybe this just isn't done well enough for Monster Hunter. I think I would have a stronger opinion if I was like super invested in the franchise because as I said, the art feels a little bit lackluster. But like the world I want to live in, I would love to spend $40 or $30 because I probably wouldn't get foil on cards that were not very good, that were incredibly well done bleach reskins of cards I liked. I think the idea that the cards themselves need to have high value is a bad thing. I think so long as that idea persists in the Magic community, the game's economy is never going to get to a healthy place. And I think the problem with that is the consumers should not be the ones to blink first in that arrangement. Like the arrangement we currently have is cards are both expensive because of collectability and cards are expensive because of playability. The world I would like to be in is cards are very expensive on the basis of collectability and they're relatively cheap on the basis of playability. And this secret lair being thrown into the fucking fire shows relatively clearly that the Magic community is like, no, if you want it to be collectible, it also has to be playable. I think that is a reasonable stance to take against Hasbro, who is being just openly adversarial from a consumer health standpoint. But I think that underscores the problem being that until one side moves, we are going to, forever exist in this limbo of getting the worst of both worlds. What do you think would get reskinned for Bleach? I have no fucking idea. Probably some samurai, which would probably kill it for me, unfortunately. Do you want what Pokemon has? Likely, yes. Noob CC, thank you for the 400-bit cheer. The art for Snap looks like I took Kushala Daora and rubbed it with a piece of steel wool. You so right. I mean, I presume that these are just grainy because it's magic spoilers. I presume the quality had to be better. Wow, Amaret the Lustrous is a really bad card. That's a really bad card. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I want the art treatments to be more available and affordable. Art is part of what I love about the game. I feel like I got almost no art treatment cards on Avatar compared to EOE and FF and find it suspicious. That's so interesting because that is like the polar opposite of my opinion. I'm the guy who's like, I want what I want for Magic is I want the like piece of paper with rules text on it to be available for to everybody for extremely cheap. And then I'm willing to pay money, and I think it's cool for other people to pay a bunch of money to get the pretty artwork. You want a signature on it? Dope. If I could get very cool artwork for $2 compared to $20, yeah, also great. But in a world where it's like zero sum and they're gonna be fucking me over for something, I would much rather get fucked over to buy the extremely cool artwork than I would to get the card that does the thing. Hey, thank you, Chubby. Z has done a tremendous amount of work to get the stream room set up, and it is very nice now. I was watching your last VOD and I saw chat mention Angel's Trumpet for the mono white Attack Me deck. I want to say I'm both proud that the propaganda was effective, but also that it genuinely was a really good Angel's Trumpet deck. Let me look at this. Oh yeah, that would have been a good Angel's Trumpet deck. Drive train, you dumb idiot. Now that they have defeated all the other Z's, be cast into hell. Be cast into hell. You good. You back now. You good. Had to. Lulu, thank you for the 5 real super chat. We are literally closer to World War III dictated by AI than any improvements to the reprint system. At least I want so much for Secret Lair exclusives to cease ASAP. Interesting. Aegis, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. Welcome back to Dog Heaven. The Buy a Box promos being shuttered wasn't in the news, really. Well, we're the news now. So what do you mean Buy a Box promos got shuttered? Let me rename the stream to Newsday. Okay, okay. Yo, what the fuck is a buy a box promo, dog? Okay. Buy a box promotional card program concludes with Lorwyn Eclipsed. Oh, provided promo cards to support booster display sales. So were these like promo cards you got when you purchased a box? Oh, interesting. I don't think we've actually, if we've gotten those, I think Z has probably secreted them away somewhere before they showed me the box, is probably why. That's probably what happened there. Yeah, baby. Hey, have we gotten any buy a box promos ever? Since you're in chat and everything, don't call me out like that. I'm gonna. Have we at any point did we get any buy a box promos? That would be so interesting. If we I've never seen one in my life. I've ne- I've never heard of these. No, I have no idea what those are. A statement made slightly less convincing by the ellipsis preceding it. Hmm. Interesting. Z would never ever lie unless it was for the internet. I do love how I'm looking at the article right now and they're saying, like, don't worry, guys. We care a lot about supporting your local game store. We care a lot about incentivizing long term growth. You're going to continue to see this support through a variety of initiatives. What are those? We can't tell you. By the way, program's over. See ya, sucker. See ya, dumbass. Good morrow, idiot. We care so very much. We care deeply, deeply much. I wonder why Watsy might not like working with you. I think that statement right there is the most like vocally negative thing I've ever said. I'm incredibly kind. I am incredibly sympathetic to Watsy being ass fucked by Hasbro every waking minute of the day because I have worked a corporate job and I know what it is to have fucking soulless, money obsessed charlatans who are directing your every fucking move. And that is what I believe is happening. And the thing is, I genuinely do not think, I do not think that Hasbro knows who the fuck I am. I do not think that I rise to that level of importance at all. I I think it's much more likely I'm simply not big enough for most of WotC, let alone any of Hasbro, to care. And there was like likely the reason that I do not work with WotC at all is that at some point when I was trying to work with them, maybe one person looked at my stuff and saw me swear a lot and was like, "Oh, that's not very family friendly. Next." And that was probably the end of it. I have no proof of that. I have no rumors of that. But like, I am a small fucking fish. I really like to use the bleach analogy when it comes to, hold on. This is going to be a risky Google. Okay. So you see all these characters, you see all these Bleach characters. These are all the big magic creators that that WotC cares about. Now just give me 1 second. These are all the big magic creators that WotC cares about. Now I want you to imagine that out here in the back, there's an unnamed lieutenant. There's an unnamed lieutenant who is not very strong. He's killed 10 episodes in. He does his best. He doesn't even get a flashback. No musical stinger plays when he dies. He's collateraled. He's collateraled by a Menos Grande in one of the very first arcs. And then Ichigo saves the day and doesn't even spare a tear for the nameless lieutenant that he could not save. That's me. That's me right now. And I'm working my way up. All right? Unohana saved me. I'm working my way up. But we talk about, I am not truly too humble. It is, nameless lieutenants are stronger than 95% of the Bleach universe. I am incredibly conceited. It is merely that the gulf between top 95% or the gulf between being top 5% of the ecosystem and top 1% of the ecosystem is inexorable. It is insane. You're like class 1B in My Hero Academia. That's rude as shit, Kyle. That's rude as fuck. Oh, Porygon, I'm not talking about preview cards specifically, for sure. But you are our nameless lieutenant. Exactly. Exactly. Well, Lulu, I appreciate that very much. Prof is getting 1 million views casually, and he doesn't even get things consistently. Exactly. And I think Prof gets things not very consistently because he is so much more openly critical. I feel like I'm willing to be critical, but I try not to dunk on WotC for what I view as Hasbro's crimes. You're like a member of Kids Crew in One Piece. I don't watch One Piece, but I would accept that. Isn't it something like the top 0.01% of OnlyFans models make like 10 mil a month and the top 10% make like a few hundred to 1,000? I don't know that stat off the dome, but that type of split seems correct for all entertainment. I think that would hold true for YouTubers. I think that would hold true for Twitch streamers. Entario, thank you for the 50-bit cheer. You're working toward character that dies for another character. Exactly. Not Felix the Cat. Thank you for the 2 months at tier 1. Welcome back to the dog home. I do, yes, I do have Twitch partner benefits. Do not accept the One Piece thing, Maul. That was insane slander. Ban whoever said that. Okay, my bad. Drivetrain, you're going back in the pit. Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh, hold on. Let me look up Kids Crew. Kids Crew One Piece. Oh, these guys look like fucking idiots. Yeah, who said that? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Back in the cage. These guys look like assholes. The camera did not flip. You all sound crazy. Please don't say crazy shit again. Please don't say crazy shit again. So anyway. So right, I think the best way to put it in perspective is like even Prof is only barely big enough that WotC feels compelled to work with him on some level. and I am at best a tenth the scale of Prof. Like, and that's not attempting to like denigrate myself. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Um, but if Prof posts a video, that shit is going like 100,000 views in a couple hours. I've had a couple videos. I've had a couple videos do over 100,000, but for the most part, if I post something, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get to 10,000 views. Sure, and then after that, I don't know. So we're operating at about like 1/10. I've said it before. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he gives me bad vibes. I think that's fair. I have that feeling about plenty of creators. I think a really important thing that I've been reflecting on recently is like we gotta stop with the obsession about like someone being a good person or a bad person because it leads you to overlook things. Like the moment we start going like, no, I think they're bad, rather than just being like we're all people doing good things and bad things. There are shit stains like Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth who continually do bad things, bad things, bad things to such a degree that you're pretty safe to paint with the broad brush and go like, "Oh, I think they're bad people." But like I think especially when it comes to the entertainment industry, it's like we get to see so little of somebody's inner life, and the cameras are basically like always on. I think you see this happen a lot with like proper movie stars who are proper famous, but like people are complicated. You can catch people on a bad day, and one person will have a story about you forever where it's like, oh my God, I met this person. They were actually an asshole. They're actually a big fucking dick, and I don't like them. And you should not watch their movies because I know that they are a dick. Um, or in the converse, people will be like, oh my God, but I met them in person and they were really nice to me. Um, and so they seem like a really good person. And I think that it's just like stuff can be more complex than that. You can get a bad vibe from a kind person without making them an unkind person. Or you can, I don't know, I'm not crazy big on forgiveness. I'm not crazy. I was about to talk about like you can see someone have a bad day and forgive them, but I think that's like, I don't know, that's a lot of gray area, and I don't like sewage. Um, there's also a huge difference between this person sucks and this person is fine. I simply do not vibe with them. That people need to be better about internalizing. That is also very true. I think one of the best um one of the best personal developments I have made and how I spend my time is identifying when I am not a fan of a thing straight up, rather than thinking of like, man, why does this thing suck? And I think some of the good examples of this are during the variety game streams when I say 0 out of 10 great game. I think we need to normalize going 0 out of 10 great person. I think they're probably dope for somebody. That's not that's not what I like. Thought for a second Mulholland was about to go in as we should forgive Marjorie Taylor Greene arc, which so many liberals somehow fell for. No, that shit is dumb. Same thing with like Oh my god, Tucker Carlson is base now? No, he's still being a fucking snake oil salesman. He's just now realized how to grift everybody at once. Sorry, I thank you for the 100-bit cheer. For my Life Mill deck, if I'm being open about it being mill, is it worth to try to salvage the vibe and make people feel cool with me by group hugging? Or should I just commit to being a shithead and play control? So Starry, I think that depends on the populace you're going to bring it to. If you want to make that a Gen Pop deck, oh, this also depends on you as a pilot. If you believe yourself to be affable and you are willing to take the brunt of most of the friendly talking, I think you can try to go for group hug. Otherwise, I would go control. No, Alec, man, I did not. I feel like too many bad people pass the I would have a beer with this person, therefore that excuses them committing crimes. Yes, that is also very, very true. I mean, that is, hey, that's how the whites got away with so much for so long. Is so many people are like, I mean, so many people get raised on the idea that evil is this big, nasty thing that exudes an aura that causes fungus to grow up from the ground and grab at your ankles and choke your nostrils. That then they go, oh, I can hang out with you without it being actively uncomfortable. You can't be that bad. Which is devastatingly untrue. Alec, man, I think I'm good. When you say take the brunt of the friendly talking, what do you mean? Starry-eyed, I mean that when it comes to creating the pleasant vibe at the table, you're probably the one who's going to have to do the creating. That doesn't have to be like, you don't have to monologue, but it means like when you're trying to get jokes going or get a friendly dynamic going, you're gonna have to be the one to do it. If you're just like, here's my deck, here's what it does, da 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 da, I think you'll have you'll necessarily have more difficulty, but you open yourself up to difficulty. I think honestly the best example I've ever seen of this was a guy who he works on profs on Shuffle Up and Play, and he has a Megatron deck that like recycles artifacts from the graveyard, and by all objective measures, it is a like shit ass evil deck. It's like a Mardu artifact reanimator deck that 2 or 3 turns in will loop a bunch of shit from the graveyard and then hit you for like 9 commander damage and start threatening lethal relatively early. But like the whole time he's playing the deck, he'll like put something in the graveyard and be like, oop, how'd that get there? And I can't do the delivery he does while I'm sick right now, but I promise you 100% of that deck's playability is contained within his commitment to saying, oop, how did that get there? With the actual joy of a puppy who has found an overturned trash can. So that's what I mean by the brunt of the friendly talking being on you, is you have to find like a little key you can jingle, or a little like sound bite you can work on. Is there a link to that episode? It wasn't live. That was I was playing a game with him off camera. Why is my rum gone? Thank you for the Prime sub for the 9th month in a row. Welcome back to the dog home. And Helios, thank you for reaching a 25 stream streak. Okay, I know there are a number of questions I missed. Somebody was asking about their cow deck. Oh, do you think I should put puppet strings in my cow deck? Let me check on what this does, and I'll pop us back to... I didn't know Mauled actually played this game off camera. Yeah, I got all of my opinions about this game by playing it. Did he misrepresent his deck strength before he started playing? You know, a little bit. And it was okay because he was so funny. You know what? Genuinely, fuck it. Yeah, put this in. It's mana intensive, but here's my thought process on the Cow Cow deck. Because that deck's dog shit. Um, hilarious dog shit. It's a dog shitting on the shoes of your worst enemy. But the way I'm thinking of it is it's very unlikely that you're ever going to have 4 mana. It's only going to be likely that you're on like 1, 2, 3, or you're on 5, based on the amount of like ramp and rituals that are in the deck. And so with Puppet Strings, you can play it as one of these setup pieces, and then you get Cow Cow out. And the fact that the untapping is mana intensive doesn't matter because Cow Cow never has haste. So you have to untap with him anyway. So if you play it before Cow Cow, 2 mana is not a big investment to get another Cow Cow tap. If you play it after Cow Cow, you can play this and pay its cost for the same price as Cow Cow, which enables you to double tap even if you tap out for it. That is, you have done the thing territory. You have totally bricked one player. You've made them discard 4 cards. Cow Cow has started sounding weird. Why? What do you dislike about Cow Cow storming? I want to use flipped Sephiroth's attack trigger as a finisher in Myco Tyrant. Do you think that is doable? Ooh, this is a really good talk to have, Madness. I think that is doable, but I think we need to separate high roll from strategic goal. Because if you are ever able to flip Sephiroth and then swing and then sack like 30 fungi, 100% you can do that. Can you do that every game? Hell fucking no. Not because it's so difficult to do, but if you are forcing this to happen every game, I am 100% certain you have missed lethal at least 3 different ways. So you can definitely build a deck where you want to build towards this. You could for sure do a like, you know, standard Golgari self-mill deck, and then you reanimate Sephiroth, and then you do the Sephiroth thing. In the course of doing that, the deck is probably going to be powerful enough to win a number of different ways anyway. And so I think it's unlikely that you could use this as like, this is my finishing move. This is the anime move I yell at the top of my lungs every single time before I try to win the game. But it is the move you sometimes get to use. Oh, let me look up how to pronounce. Sao Sao? Why is this 90 seconds to pronounce a 3-letter word? Oh, god damn it. So. Just bought tickets to MagicCon Vegas. Are you going, Mauled? Who else in chat's going to be there? I don't know about Vegas. Let's talk about Vegas, guys. That'll be part of News Day. So the issue with MagicCon Vegas is I believe it's relatively close to a couple other conventions. Z and I really, really want to go to MagicCon Amsterdam. And we've been looking at our finances recently, and basically The short answer, Vegas is off the table unless we are hired to do paid work there. Because when we look at costs and everything, each convention that we go to is like the same price as going on a vacation. And it's unlikely to get better because the first time we tried to like really skimp on travel costs was PAX Unplugged, and it fucked us. Like taking but we're old, we're unk status. Taking the cheaper flights, doing the cheaper living arrangements, it fucks us over. And so even though there is a way to, get it done for a lower amount financially, the reality of doing that lower cost financially fucks us over in other ways. And so we just can't be paying like 2 to 4 fucking grand to go to one of these, especially when the company won't talk to me. That's not their fault, right? I'm the one who made the content, who presumably at some point made them go like, why is this guy talking about cum? Right? That's 100% my fault. But it still means that like I can't go to right now, I can't go to a convention and have professional development happen. It's just like big wall. Like the thing that will make professional development happen with me and Wizards of the Coast is I have to make videos get 6-figure views every time I post them. And then I can probably be like, hey guys, I know I said come all those times. Please, what can we do here? What can we do here? What can we make happen here? It's pronounced Sao Sao, like sour minus the R. Sao Sao. Okay. Thank you, Kaiser. So, we are going to be looking at work opportunities because there's plenty of vendors that will be going to MagicCon Vegas that are presumably open to working with Z and I. And when we were looking at it, we were like, okay, if we're going to spend vacation money to go to Las Vegas or to go to Amsterdam, which would we rather go to? We were like, Amsterdam, 100%. Amsterdam, no problem. The Wizards, aren't we all a little bit a come and come together in that cumeness? All right. Yeah, 360, I think you've pushed back the timeline of me ever working with Wizards by about 3 weeks with that comment. So thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Also, Kashmir Akil, thank you for the 3-stream streak. I put on your stream and write fanfic. I wouldn't have it any other way. And Aegis Athene, I just watch it. I just stare at the forehead. So Vegas up in the air. Amsterdam, definitely. I would be on the lookout for me to be at more Riftbound events. Because right now, that's the place professional development can happen, and that game fucking kicks. That game kicks hard as hell. And that company, I did the Annie roast, and I talked to somebody from there, and I was like, how did we feel about me talking about like Vietnam and drone strikes with respect to your card game? And they were like, it was awesome. That was great. Is their CEO still the Fartmaster 3000 in their employees' faces? Let's find out together. Is the Riot CEO still, hold on, the Fartmaster 3000 in their employees' faces? That's 6 years old. About 6 years old. 2021. So Scott Gelb, is this the Fartmaster 3000? This is the kind of search result that poisons AI. Good, poison them. Dare Brain, thank you for the 6 months. Welcome back to the dog home. We did move, yes. Hex has a degree. Thank you for the 4 months. Welcome back to the dog home. This is the sick new background Z has made for me in the new house. It is sick as fuck. You will be seeing more of it in long form videos as I publish them. How did you do the panels? I don't know. Talk to Z. All right, let's go lurk on Scott Gelb's LinkedIn page. Oh my god, I hate you, LinkedIn. I hate you, LinkedIn. I see former here. The wall of support's gonna come with. What happened to the special emotes, boss? Aren't we supposed to get them finished like a week ago or so? Yeah, I don't know. They're kicking around slow style. Oh yeah, we can look at fucking Elk has been fucking bullying me because they like Disco Elysium. But let me pull up the last thing I have with the how do I sure? How do I open you? How y'all motherfuckers like this? Clap, you fucking seals. I like it. I'm clapping. Speaking of Elk, did they say they'd guest on the custom stream? Hold on. I think Elk's live. All right, let's direct clown to clown harassment. Dirty, thank you for the 25 stream streak, my friend. Welcome back to the I don't have a name for stream streaks. You're a very good boy, Dirty. We can't see what you're typing, boss. That's crazy. That's too bad. It should pop up. I don't want to support with a combo. Do I have a Prime sub? Oh, that's nice. Look at me. Look at what a sweetie I am. Look at how I give back to the poors, everybody. I'll be deducting that Amazon Prime subscription for charitable donation at the end of this year. Ooh, the dog park. I like that. By popular demand, the people who have stream streaks, yours are the opinions who matters. Do you want to be in the dog park or do you want to be good boys? Would you rather be called a good boy / good girl by me directly for your streaks, or would you rather say, thank you for coming to the dog park? Dog Park has the eyes. That's not fair. You have a kinky community. I don't think 90% of them said Dog Park. I think you just told on yourself a little bit, White Bread. Hey, Mal, did you ever watch Lobos Jr.? I'm being very reminded of his call signs. No, who the fuck is Lobos Jr.? Okay, so let's... All right, let's get back to Newsday, because I'll tell you all about something. I'm foaming. Oh, White Bread, thank you for the 35-bit cheer. We should commission a clapping seal emote. I'll start the GoFundMe here. What is Elk doing? What the I'm sorry. Holy shit. What is happening? We gotta put that away. What? Yo. What are we? What? This is not. Holy shit. Holy shit, bro. That's incredible. That's incredible. What is. What are they on? Oh my god. Hello, Life is Shade. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this motherfucker is never late. This motherfucker is never late to jump on the bandwagon of my stream being late or my stream being canceled. I think Elk is the only person with like 100% adherence to my stream notifications, because if they ever get one that it's like stream's not happening today, they just hotkey their fucking stream title. Marketing genius. Marketing genius. Okay, let's recenter on Newsday, because I do want to do more talking head videos with the fancy and good background that I have. And if I'm going to do one, I want to do stuff that is more akin to like The Daily Show. I think the difficulty with it is The Daily Show dealt with important stuff. And since it dealt with like the whole of America, quite a lot was happening all of the time. What I don't want to do is chase low tier bullshit drama. So I do need to Unk, you know about Chaos from Skylanders? Is that one of the Pokemans, Sultai player? Are you talking to me about something from Minecraft creative mode right now? Right, Army Hitch. So I do think it can work, but I think that like I obviously couldn't do this daily, right? It would probably be a weekly or every other thing. Kashmir, I thank you for coming by. Good luck with your fanfic. So we have Monster Hunter Secret Lair canceled, a bunch of dipshit pageboy drama farmers believe that Capcom did this. We will edit this to not be rude to people we don't know later, but I love throwing strays. I never aim on target. I'm always just shooting off to the side. Right, we have like no Right, Josh Johnson is very much the type of energy I want to begin practicing. Yeah, Unk, you reminded me of Chaos. If you call me Unk one more time, I fear I shall crumble into dust. That's gonna be a ban. That's gonna be an immediate ban. Wow. Don't waste any fucking time. Don't waste any fucking time, do you? Danny, I am doing okay. I have definitely done better. I have definitely done better. Hey, boss, have you watched any good new anime lately? No, Z and I have been, until like 3 weeks ago, we've been pretty committed to catching up with or rewatching Bleach so that we could watch Thousand Year Blood War. We're almost there, but it has precluded watching any new shows. I don't want to watch Chainsaw Man, dude. That show seems like it sucks. I watched season 1. I watched the movie, and the movie, like the Chainsaw Man movie, the Chainsaw Man movie was like the most wow, this movie is great. I would like no more of this in my life. My heart cannot handle whatever the fuck Fujimoto is on. That shit is evil. That shit is evil and a little bit mean, and I don't like it. Um, because it was extremely compelling at the beginning, and then I was like, wow, we're laying the torture of this teenager on a little bit thick. Surely that characterization changes a little bit, right? And so I went to the Reddit for it, and I saw people talking about how they were really laying the torture of the teenager on a little bit thick, and I was like, obviously they're talking about season 1 or 2, and they were talking about the episode that had just come out. Like what I can't I think I am missing out, Alec, and I think that harkens back to what I said about deciding something's not for you. I don't think I think Chainsaw Man is a pretty great work of art. I personally do not care to see a protagonist suffer so extremely in the exact same way for so long. It is too tiring. I can look in a mirror if I wish to watch somebody struggle with the same things every single morning. So I think it's very good, which is why like I watched the movie and I was like, this movie is great, and I am not going to watch any more Chainsaw Man. I am not I am not going to no more. That's the end of it. Wow. Thank you, Fujimoto. That's all I need. I have not watched Dungeon Meshi because I don't like slice of life anime. Wow, maybe you'd like Berserk then. Sultai, I know you're rage baiting me. I think maybe if Elk tried to, they failed. I think if I did not, and I'm not going to say this is a blanket statement, but I think for me personally, if I did not suffer from chronic pain, I would be more willing to watch art that was about deep ongoing suffering. Like I think when I watch a character struggle endlessly against some black morass, whether that is an emotional or a physical hurdle, it I don't find myself getting drawn into their story. I find myself over empathizing and then just dwelling on my own pain. Whereas if I'm watching some like dumbass power fantasy like Solo Leveling, I'm fully in the story because you know what I can't relate to? Kick flipping through a demon. Hasn't happened. I'd love to be able to do it. And so if you show me that on a screen, I'm in. I'm in totally. And he can talk smooth to people he's just met. Sign me up. But if you show me a guy who's waking up to fight the same demons he's been waking up to fight and losing to for a decade, I go, oh. Oh. And I'm not saying that like is universal for anybody who suffers from chronic pain, but I do think for me, I think for me that's like the gate barring the passageway to me enjoying those types of shows. What's your chronic pain? I have quite bad sciatica from my years as a rower, and then because my spine is fucked up, I have joint pain through like most joint, like I obviously don't have like nerve pain through every joint in my body, but I have the like nothing really works right anymore because I pushed myself so hard as a rowing athlete for so long. Wonder if my back pain started with rowing and just got worse when I enlisted. Hey, dog, I don't wonder. I'm pretty confident. I didn't watch Kaiju number 8 yet, no. Alec, you can sure try. I might kick you into the sun for it. We'll see how I feel. Dude, Army Hitch, I haven't tried Where Winds Meet. Okay, anyway, we have to. No, we have to do Newsday stuff. So, Secret Lair canceled. Alvius Fur, thank you for the 8 months in a row. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. Also, don't carry 115-pound dogs up and down 20 flights of stairs every day. That could do it. That could do something. So I'm guessing you truly put your back into it. I actually don't think I did, I think was the issue. Okay. Elk is the guest for custom card stream Thursday. Pre-sales uh I'm gonna commit this motherfucker. I'm gonna I'm gonna call somebody. Am I on the right? No, okay. This is uh anyway, Elk is guaranteed as the custom card stream guest this Thursday. I think pre-sales will happen tomorrow at noon. For some reason, books about characters dealing with and pushing through chronic problems are a big yes, but shows doing the same is a big no. You know, Storming, I've actually noticed that too, because Brandon Sanderson does the same thing. Now, with Brandon Sanderson, there was even a moment where I was like, he's gotta get less depressed soon or I'm quitting the series. And then he did begin to overcome it. But I do vibe with that a lot. I feel like it's because in a book, you know there has to be an end, and you know that unless the author is a fucking dickhead, the end is going to be acceptable. Uh, whereas a show, they're typically ongoing and not complete, and so you don't know how long the arc is going to be. You don't know when it's going to get wrapped up, if ever. Because if I'm watching like Suffering in a book series that I know is not completing anywhere anytime soon, I'm a lot more reticent. Yeah, like Patrick Rothfuss. Holy shit. And we gotta talk about Magic. what else happened in the Magic news? So all right, Buy a Box promos got canceled. We're getting Marvel spoilers next week. What happened last week? Here. Let's do a little bit of a grift. Because I know Pleasant Kenobi drops a video every time he hears a bee think something. Oh, really? Nothing happened? That's amazing. That's incredible. Nothing happens in this. We're not hate watching. I'm cynicism checking. So Marvel spoilers. Let a man farm content. The TCG bubble might be bursting if you want to use that. I'm just checking on the crops, all right? I have not been one to keep up with current events, and I know Pleasant Kenobi does. We could plug Good Time Boys. What I'm thinking of is then perhaps then I think it becomes what could for Kamen Rider, yes I did. Let me hold on. Yeah, man, this got the One Piece disease for me. There's no fucking way, but thank you, brother. Okay. Perhaps a segment on what to buy the Magic player in your life for the holidays. No. Because I don't think but it's live action. That doesn't matter. There will be roast commissions this month. They're going to open on the weekend. What's the One Piece disease? How it looks. Everything in this image is the One Piece disease. It is a disease that I possess, obviously, because it's the disease that makes me not like this art style that is beloved by billions of people. It is my problem, but it is my illness. Anyway. I mean, so when I have beef with an art style, it means I have beef with an aesthetic design choice. And yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the costuming. I might give it a try, but again, like I'm not in a dearth of content to consume. Mal, this is the one bad opinion I'll allow from you. I don't, it looks horrid. It looks horrid and bad and no good. Like all of Phineas and Ferb. Yes, Phineas and Ferb, same thing. Yeah, can't fucking stand that show. Holy shit. Yeah, Ferb, I know what we're doing today. Pulling out our own eyeballs. Howdy, Smiley Nolan. Welcome to the stream. Yo, what? And like I'm objectively I'm wrong. It's a matter of taste. And hold on. Yeah, objectively, hundreds of thousands of people love this show. I don't think hundreds of thousands of people are wrong. I think I have a disease that causes my eyes to work right, whereas the default eyes think this is an acceptable image to bear witness. And that's my cross to bear, and I will bear it. And I will bear it for all of you so that you do not have to. Yeah, hey Arnold. So I think part of it, and again, I'm gonna say a thing. I'm gonna say a thing that's gonna sound like I'm making a blanket statement about what's right in the world, and I'm not. I think part of it for me is I grew up on a farm and was not exposed to television until I was like 7 years old. And when I was beginning to be exposed to television, anything that was not a like pretty distinctly humanoid shape, but was meant to be like a person or humanoid-ish, I fucking violently hated. I like I wish to join the Crusades against the Teletubbies. I've always kind of I've always kind of freaked out Rautism style over anything that was like a person but with like super exaggerated features. Ina Ashiro. What's going on, man? How to Grow Wool. Thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to Doghouse, my friend. You framed that statement like rage bait. This looks like an adult woman. You must hate a caricature artist then? I do actually. I do hate a caricature artist. I mean, Alec, I don't think my distaste of like the Phineas and Ferb style is the same reason I dislike the uh what the Muffin Man? What's the show? Common Rider. The Common Rider aesthetic. I think I dislike that just for different reasons. It's just fine. Fine. Is it because they draw you balder? I have never been to a caricature artist, all right? Not one time. We're gonna go to the manual ad break, and then we're gonna talk about. So I think we talk about if I was going to do the news, there is not enough magic news to do this on a regular basis without scraping the bottom of the Twitter barrel. And so if there's not enough magic news to do on a regular basis without scraping the bottom of the Twitter barrel, do I then attempt to fold in D&D news, or do I fold in the news of a different TCG, or do I fold in like Warhammer news? And we're going to ruminate on that, and I'm going to hit the 3-minute ad break, and I'm going to pee, and I'll see you all in a minute. I guess, hold on. Look at all this fucking space. It's incredible. Okay. Tono Roex, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Warhammer's kind of do nothing unless you want to cover the Nothing Burger, Grotmoss. Riftbound would be more in line. I think it'd be cool if you spoke about news about all sorts of things you're interested in. Doesn't have to be just magic. There's an idea. Me when I info dump weekly. Partner with are strictly 2 cards, Helios. I'm willing to bet some amount of money that TMNT limited environment will be better than Lorwyn. I might be willing to take you up on that gamble because Spider-Man was dog shit. Because Spider-Man's limited environment was fucking hellish. Lorwyn will have planeswalkers. That's a fair point. I don't know if that's enough. Avatar is dope. Avatar is very, very good. Okay, so what if you tried to pad it out by also talking about the significance of a past set? I don't know. I think the operative word there is pad it out. I don't want to pad this out. This would entirely be like I mean, I think the goal here would be a Daily Show or Josh Johnson-esque vibe where I'm making jokes about a number of things that are at the forefront of the zeitgeist but are tunneled down a little bit into nerddom. But what I don't want to do is make shit up. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to be just like, oh yeah, let me make a video about a Twitter beef. Unless the Twitter, like if the Twitter beef was funny and it was like, I have one friend who does like dramatic rereadings of funny Tumblr posts and that provides joy to the world. But for the most part, I don't want to be like, oh my God, Prof farted. We're looking for first-hand reports about anybody around to smell it. How long are you shooting for these bi-weekly news vids to be? I mean, I'm calling it the bi-weekly show as a joke. I have no idea how often it would be. Get One Piece out of here. That is kind of a thought. Report on all the things that happened in my own life. Daily Show style. That's a little bit compelling. NGL, one of the bigger gaming news is Helldivers 2 optimizing size down to 23 gigabytes from like 160. I think that being an example of gaming news is perfect evidence that I should not do actual gaming news because I cannot care about that. What about aping Josh Johnson style directly? He always tells a story from his past and uses it as an analogy for what's new. I think I should avoid. I think here's the thing. As because of my specific type of brain sickness, it is I will ape anything I think is funny or interesting, whether or not I intend to. Whether or not I intend to. And it is only by trying my very hardest to avoid aping Josh Johnson or Jon Stewart at all will I end up only aping them an acceptable amount. If I aim to ape them even a little bit, I will appear as a cheap ripoff. I must attempt to go in a massively different direction, and in executing that massively different direction, I will end up aping them. If I consciously allow myself to ape them, yes, Dirty, I will be an impression of them. And I must avoid that. But I like, Drago, what you're saying. Yeah, so like the free count updates, but I have like a suit and I report very seriously on the nightmare shit of Tuesday afternoon. I tried a similar thing where I collated news from as many card games as possible, and it turns out product release news is actually mostly dead all the time. Yeah, okay, so I think doing a genuine news thing is fucked. We're not going to do that. But I'm kind of but I'm kind of on like Insane Man publishes a formal news report about his daily life. Could just make shit up, be fully fake news. We gotta be careful with that. There's something there. We could do like, I lied about one of these. Come back next week and I'll tell you what. Just one of these was a full fucking lie. But I'm not gonna tell you which. Full Alex Jones, they are turning the dragons white kind of stuff. Okay, I like this a lot, yeah. There's our wait, okay, yeah. This is what we're doing. I already thought of like I'm still too sick. I'm still too sick to work out the line for it. And you guys don't try to fill in the blank. Nobody try to complete this line for me. Just I'm gonna pitch it and we're gonna know the potential. There's something about the White House confirming that Pete Hegseth ordered a war crime on that boat in the waters of Venezuela. And then in secondary war crime news, this fuck-ass emoji deck I had to play against in Brawl. Why haven't they banned insert extra turn spell yet? There's something there with the absurdism. Because here, okay, wait. I'm pulling the thread out. I think what's happening is I have this persistent feeling of everything we see in the news is constantly crushingly bad. Yes? Everything, like, I'm going to avoid going on my normal anti-Trump rant at this point, but whether you are, I'd be amazed if you're in this stream and against Trump at this point, or for Trump at this point. But if you're for Trump, like, you can't be happy. If you're against Trump, like me, you're not happy because he's in office. But if you're for Trump, like, it's not coming up aces for y'all on a personal level. Like, everything in the news is horrible. And it's just constantly surrounding us with this feeling of like ennui and helplessness and desire to live in precedented times. And that's always so and that's always so juxtaposed with like, and then you stub your toe. And what matters more to you in that moment where you stub your toe? And so I think there's something truly funny, and I think I have to ruminate on whether or not it's morally rotten, but I think there's something truly funny about mixing in like actually important world events and being like, and that's why it matters that Nexus of Fate isn't fucking banned yet. Also, Angwar Ace, thank you for the 5 months in tier 1. Welcome back to the dog home. I am healing from illness. Like halfway through, I think we have to juxtapose that stuff because of how absurd the real news is these days. Yeah, I think that's part of it too. The lamentations of Vivi in a world of drone strikes. Like it's the delivery. The delivery is going to be so difficult on this. But there's like there is some delivery exists that will make the world a brighter place of the line 10 children were killed yesterday and my arcane signet got removed for no fucking reason. Why are the horrors of the world unceasing? That's gonna be hard. And obviously that specific example is like the hardest one I can think of. There's a lot of easier ones that I would start with. This just in, we were planning to invade Venezuela in a CIA coup, which is why you nuke VV players who are only there to play spells with no win con. Yeah, that type of energy. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's the show for sure. Thank you, Pitch Room. Thank you, Pitch Hounds. Yeah, like an onion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The onion references are all very good to play here. Unrelated note, have you tried any of the Risk of Rain 2 DLC yet? I've tried a little bit, yeah. I tried to play while I was sick, and I was like too sick to play video games. Like it made me feel worse and I had to stop. But yes, I have tried it. It's dope. I look forward to trying more of it when I don't feel as fucking crushingly bad anymore. WotC announces standard to be entirely universes beyond. Man loses last bit of hope he didn't even know he had. Yeah, yeah, Kitty's got it. 10 children were killed in a mass shooting, and in an act of equally senseless violence, Jeremy removed my arcane signet on turn 2 during our bracket 1 commander game. That's the show. We're copy pasting that sentence. Auburn Kitty, you are the first to be plagiarized, even though you were riffing on the sentence that I started with. I think that sentence here, that sentence is the heart of what I'm going to try to do. And maybe my delivery will fall short and I will have to immediately apologize and not do it ever again. But I think that's really funny. Sorry for repeating myself. I have to talk a little bit less. Do, 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 do. Give me the novel protagonist, Helios. Nikki Nacky, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Wolf, you might have been the first to be plagiarized in general. I meant for this show. What's the? It's not modus operandi. Mission statement. I think I could do that Nunbeam, but quite frankly, I do so much roasting. I think it would be fun to focus on on like slightly different types of things, and I think I would end up roasting players either way. It feels like it'd be tricky to navigate. Oh lordy, yes. Oh lordy, yes. And I like hard to navigate. I mean, the only like, yeah. Mmm. This is tasty. That's a tasty one. So that allows me to make magic jokes, and it allows me to pull in any like magic news that did happen without having to scrape the bottom of the barrel. Something, something. Costco sues. Something Costco tariffs. I sue for the like smothering type triggers back. Yes, you do, Bone Lord. Are you ready for criticism from people who don't follow context or sarcasm? I mean, oh, verily, yes. I mean, I think there's something. Melania Trump launches crypto coin, only accepts white mana as payment. This is for a bit, but I think that's actually perfect. Because I remember when I was a kid and my mom and I would watch The Daily Show, one of the reasons we watched The Daily Show was because watching like the news was just too wildly depressing. Just way too wildly depressing. We could not do it. And even now, anytime I bring up political stuff in my content, people are like, oh, I don't want that here. I wanted this to be a space free from that. And I don't think any space is really free from that. And I think this is the way to marry them. I think this is the way to be like, no, this is important enough to me that it's a thing I feel compelled to talk about. it's important enough to me to talk about it, and I can 100% graft all of this like actual news shit to magic jokes or to like magic updates and have it be like entertaining enough to maybe take away some of that like, oh fuck, everything's just so bad all the time. We recently had the longest government shutdown since the last time Trump was president, but it still felt shorter than the average Helga turn. Yeah. Yeah, that's the juice. You're all being robbed right now. Oh, that's good. I gotta get Z. Hold on. Okay, so Laros, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. I think there would have to be good news at the end. I think it has to end on a high note. I mean, even the Daily Show ends on like the moment of Zen all the time. Yeah, Monty Python is also a good energetic read for this. Like it has to it's all going to be extremely difficult. Many of these many of these jokes will get written and then struck from the record. Uh many of these will get written, spoken, and then apologized for. What am I looking at? Yeah, Z is too eepy to come on stream. The bolded statements, which are not currently jokes that are scripted, but are the like governing energy. I have watched a ton of Last Week Tonight, yes. I mean, I was raised on The Daily Show and then watched Last Week Tonight once Jon Stewart had his retirement phase. SNAP benefits reinstated in the largest distribution of food since the last time the Yeager player cast their command, or something like that, yeah. As health insurance premiums spike, many Americans have been immigrating into Phyrexia to get affordable health care. That's fucking gold! Russell. Right, baby? These are... Okay, this is the thing. This is for sure. This is for sure. As support for the threat for the Trump administration wanes, scholars are left wondering if the average person finally has good threat assessment. Holy shit. Oh man, that's good. Luigi Mangione defends his alleged actions, stating, "I was just doing the responsible thing like taking out the group hug player. Thank you for the 50-bit cheer, Dario." Wow. Oh, if I do this right. Oh man, if I do this right, you guys. The Daily Hound goes crazy. If you do this, Wizards is never working with you. Oh no, the status quo. I decided to pop back in and lurk while I'm at the gym. Thank you, Alec, man. I want to ask because choice paralysis is a problem. I got a $10 coupon to my LGS for Warhammer minis and supplies. I don't know what to put it towards because I already have enough models, but I can't think of anything else to use it on. You got any ideas? Z is in chat. I would recommend if you have any paint schemes you've wanted to check out but haven't wanted to fully commit to, get a little bit of test paint. In the wake of public backlash, Secretary of Defense orders second lightning bolt against Birds of Paradise. Holy shit. Oh, I'm gonna weep when this bombs. You guys, this is too good. Kolos, you should be. That's heroic. Okay, okay. So let's chat. You are all doing quite frankly a shockingly good job spitting bars. Um I think then the thought has to become what is the structure of the show? Because we're not going to have a guest on anytime. Bet home, I think that's in. It does feel a little much, which is part of why I'm worried about this. I feel like a lot of this is going to be tied up in delivery. A lot of this is. I need to be like a bastardized combination of Jon Stewart, Josh Johnson, and Anthony Jeselnik, because like we are for sure we're going to be joking about very very heavy stuff, and it's 100% possible to joke about heavy stuff, but like if people don't laugh, then you have not successfully joked. No, everybody stop pitching jokes. I appreciate you. You've done, again, shockingly well. We don't have to pitch jokes at this point. I don't like the implication that we're usually not on our A game. Hey, neither do I, and yet the reality exists. So it may be worth it to watch some Anthony Jeselnik. But yeah, like I don't think there's anything. I think there are. I agree with his stance that it is possible to joke about anything in the world, but not everybody can be the person to joke about anything in the world. He kind of disappeared. That's called being rich. He has a podcast where he gets to like sit in his house and chat it up a little bit for like an hour every week. It's called You Have Enough Money to Not Have to Do Fucking anything you don't want to do anymore. I mean, he had a special last year. I don't think we have to do weekend update style. Who in the fuck is Cody Johnston? Yeah, I'm going off of we're going off of Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Josh Johnson, and then a little bit of Anthony Jeselnik thrown in. Do people actually make retire at 30 kind of money? Didn't know that. Yeah, I mean the upper end of the entertainment industry for sure. Like I think from comedy, holy shit, dude. Yes, what? Now, obviously you can't trust Google for this shit, but like take the estimate of 450 million as the motherfucker is rich. If you Yeah, if you are a successful comedian, you can absolutely retire early. It depends if you're a successful comedian who has a cocaine addiction or not. Now, Kevin Hart's also a fucking movie star because he became such a successful comedian that they would just put him in movies to play himself. So it's a bit different, obviously. And I think Kevin Hart is like the most well paid comedian. Like whether you want to put him up as the goat or say whether or not he's the funniest or whatever, he is the most fiscally successful stand-up comedian out there, I believe. And that's just Kevin Hart. Imagine if Maul pulled up somebody funny. Here's the thing that I will listen. Here's what I will defend about Kevin Hart. As one of the people whose styles I unintentionally aped when I began to do my Commander roast, that man's delivery is fucking hilarious. He will talk about some tremendously unfunny shit, and then he'll do that weird little mouth noise and look at you, and you'll breathe through your nose. It'll happen. It'll fucking get you. Did you ever see a story about Dave Chappelle? Is that the? I don't think so. No, I haven't kept up with much of his comedy. And Bedhome, I do agree for sure. Does Maul ever stream draft? Yes, I do. Um, I might actually. We might. I might delay the roast streams tomorrow, based on how I was trying to use today to get a litmus test, a litmus test of how I felt. And I think I'm okay to be on camera and I'm okay to talk. I am not sure. I am definitely not okay to yell. And I am not sure I'm okay to do contrived bits. Yeah, the Saudi comedy show definitely put a lot of people on the sellout list. Some of whom were totally unsurprising, and some of whom, like Bill Burr, were a bit surprising. I think Weekend Update is not totally ridiculous. I think I also have to get. I think I also have to get a little at peace with like maybe this is only like 5 minutes. Maybe this is not long. The leftist seeming fantasy author jumped over there for an award show. It sucks so bad how fast the shit list of people who I actually like before grows. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think the. I mean, let's look at how it starts actually. Because there's. Because I know how it starts. Because how it starts is in my emails right now. And I don't think I should leak the emails because I think it will get me in trouble. But Streamlabs will regularly. How is this connecting back to slavery and state sponsored murder? More at 11. Streamlabs will email me relatively frequently with sponsorship offers. And these are kind of like open bounty board type sponsorships. They're not like, oh, John Maldhound, we've sought after you all these years, all these miles, all this lonely road, and you happened into our coffee shop. No, they have a list of like all the Twitch streamers in the fucking world, and they will like auto assign you a rate based on how many viewers you tend to get, and then they will give you like, here is you the base pay we will offer you to advertise this game by playing it on stream, and then you will get these financial incentives if your viewers play this game for a certain amount of time, if your viewers spend this amount of money on this game. And like, I don't know, most of these games I don't know from a fucking stone. Like I have some email about Star Trek some like Star Trek Galaxy Fleet game, but they were like, if you play this game 2 hours, we will pay you $340. I think I don't remember It might have been longer because that seems like quite a lot for 2 hours. But it was like, wow, that's a lot of money for not very much work. And that was the base. That was the base pay. And they were like, if you get, for every viewer, you get to spend $20 in this game, we will pay you 50. And they're going to give me that rate because they know that if they get you to participate in the microtransaction ecosystem one time, you will continue to participate in it. And so they pay me the 50 one time, and you will pay the 20, presumably like every month or something. But I think those are like, and I'm always very afraid of taking those because I think those are the very, very small decisions that over time build up this type of resistance to really like considering the moral consequences of your actions. Because like that's great money for very little work. Like I need money. We have rent. Z and I we're trying to adopt cats right now, which is going to be a bunch of fucking money. We in fact eat food. You know, I'm not trying to buy a boat. And yet, when I look at them, it's still like, oh, I'm being paid to trick people into paying a bunch of money into microtransactions. Because I imagine the sponsorship would not go that well if for the entire 2 hours I was like, hey, this game sucks, don't spend any money on it. Or I was like, hey, this game's fine, but don't you dare spend any money on it. I don't know. Maybe they would go for it. Probably not. Because there's been a number of companies where I've made that offer, where they have shipped me something, where they have shipped me, not physically shipped me something, but where I have been approached by a company and I've told them, okay, I like parts of your product. I'm willing to talk about it. There is, here's one really glaring issue that I think is a risk with your product that I feel it's a lie of omission to not tell people about. Is it okay if I make a disclaimer about that in my video? And then I never hear another word back from them. Which it's like an obvious business decision from them. Why would you want to work with the like small to mid-sized YouTuber who's going to talk bad about your product versus any of the thousands, if not tens of thousands of other small to mid-sized YouTubers who won't say anything bad about your product? But I wonder a lot about, you know, how much it takes to begin tipping the scales the other way. Because like if that Star Trek game, or you know, I get a shitload of those Streamlabs offers. You know, if a Streamlabs offer came in tomorrow and was like, hey, we want you to do a 6-hour stream for Raid Shadow Legends, we'll pay you 10 grand. I'm hopping in the Discord call to talk about it. Like my neck probably needs an x-ray and somebody's got to pay for those X's. I'd poke that dog shit game for 10 bands. Exactly. Like that's the... Do you take many offers that don't come through Streamlabs? I would say I turn down 90% of sponsorship opportunities I've been offered. I think I've turned down 100% of Streamlabs offers. Um, and then, and I am not counting like bullshit offers are like, there's a million marketing emails that will be like, oh, we'd love to send you a sample pack of our like automated kitchen whisk and make a video about it. So I'm not counting those. But the actual like hard money for services offers that I get, I turn down about 90%. Felix Royale, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 26th month in a row. Would you prefer to roast a deck of mine that's trying to find cards that fit the flavor of a weird IP, or a deck based on a mechanic that only has one card supporting it and the rest cobbles together ways to also support it? I'd like to see the second. That seems like a fun puzzle. What's going on, Magicified News? That's the concept we're talking about right now. Yeah, I like that a lot. You could give us a safe word right now so we know when you're not being genuinely excited for a sponsored game. I think the impossibility of that is I cannot get that information. Like, I cannot get that information to everybody, no matter my best efforts or my intentions. At the end of the day, I'm genuinely repping the thing. Like, it would not surprise me to learn that one of the celebrities who went to the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival had previously said on a show or in a YouTube video or on a podcast, hey, if you ever hear me say pterodactyl, that means I'm just doing this shit for the money. And then they made a joke about a pterodactyl at the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival. It doesn't change that they're still there. And these little evils are much different, right? But just because they're different in magnitude doesn't mean they're different in direction. If you're offered 10K to shill a terrible game, I'd be more annoyed if you didn't take it, TBH. And that's also part of it. At some point, like, I'm just being a prideful little shit. And I should just be like, hey, here's a game. Whatever. Cha-ching. My child just came in my room with a toasted bagel that has jalapeno honey cream cheese. It sounds like you've raised them right. Okay. I like I like the feeling of this. All right, I think I have to write for this. I think I'm definitely not ready to do roasting tomorrow. Chilling bad game different than supporting a shitty monarchy. True in magnitude, but at the base level, it is still um refusing to, like, it is glossing over a moral objection I do have in the name of getting money. And the difficulty is deciding where does the line actually exist? Like, where is it, where do I believe that it is reasonable to hold back those moral objections because I have 20 grand in my hand, and where does it have to be raised no matter what? And that's just what I'm thinking about. I don't have an answer for that. The line of slavery and murder, or I hope it is. Well, I think most people would argue that slavery and murder should be on the side of the line that you're always raising the objection for, but I think my line is further in than that. Like, I think the reason I think about it so much is that my line is well short of supporting a regime that executes people for being homosexuals. And it's about how much closer is it? I don't even like supporting gotcha games. I barely feel comfortable with the pack ecosystem of Magic the Gathering. I don't even feel comfortable with the pack ecosystem in Magic the Gathering. I would say that's currently the moral objection that I quench the most. I'm closing this. I'm about to close the stream, you dipshit. I'm about to close. Oh, you little rat. Go put your fucking hentai elk back up on your monitor. Thank you for the raid. Hello. Alec, we're probably going to have to play it by ear. Because what has to happen is I have to get back to streaming in some capacity every day because I have to wage the never-ending war against irrelevancy. What I think the most likely outcome will be is Sunday will become catch-up roast day rather than an XCOM day, because Sunday was dedicated as an XCOM day with the idea being that I would feel good enough to do a deck roasting stream tomorrow. So if we can't do deck roasting tomorrow, and allegedly Saturday is going to be the free day. Yeah, I think, Alec, man, the answer is mostly we're going to play it by ear. And it is entirely dependent on how quickly I get better. Maybe it will be, because I would want to do the catch-ups before I do the free roast stream. So maybe it will be Saturday as the catch-up day, and Sunday we do the free roast streams. And we use that to like jointly advertise the streams going on sale on Ko-Fi. I will post updates in the Discord. But either way, Bob Surge and Turnips Co., thank you very much for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the Doghouse. We are going to end stream here for the day to rest my voice. But thank you all for being here, and thank you for workshopping. Don't worry, Secret Bean Man. This would be on top of everything else I do, so if you just like the different stuff, you're all good. Or if you just like the usual stuff. Beeps is live. We're going to raid Beeps. Hit them with the Bald Kai. If you've not seen that message, type ! Bald Kai into this chat. It will pull up a message that you can then copy paste. So copy paste that. Be kind to Beeps. They're a lovely non-binary himbo. I love you all. Thank you for putting up with my sickness. I will see you tomorrow. Maybe we play Where Winds Meet tomorrow. Who fucking knows? I'm getting the fever sweats again. Thank you all for being here. Please remember to stay toxic. And good night. YouTube, that's just it, but I'll see you all tomorrow.